before the fight, another great episode coming up. As always, my co-hosts, Shannon O'Connell, Joel Camilleri. Shotgun, how are you?
I'm great. Fight rates today, Joel. Don't mess with me.
I wouldn't mess with her on a normal day, man.
Cammo, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing great, thanks.
Jamie Myers had an event at the Sunshine Coast, and Liam Pope fought Fabio Rosati for the Queensland featherweight title and got a unanimous points decision win there. So good on him. Josh Fredrickson coming away with the win as well. But a great little event there at the Sunshine Coast, so well done, team. But Liam Pope getting the unanimous decision.
Yeah, and also Connie Chan. She won the state title.
She did indeed. And straight after that, just before that actually, we had the go live with Liam Pope the night before, where he said that he's more than happy to fight Sam Goodman in his next fight. So there could be a great fight coming up there. On the weekend, we had Tszyu and No Limit come up with Glen Jennings as they continue their Queensland camp here for the fight against Michael Zarafa. Tszyu getting some great rounds in with Clay Waterman and with Benny Marnie. We caught up with Tszyu and Glen Jennings at the sparring event on the weekend, and this is what they had to say about Tim's preparation, what they think of Queensland, and the upcoming fight against Zarafa. Glen Jennings, Team Tszyu, the manager. Mate, quick turnaround. You're only here for a few days, but quality work.
Yeah, we're doing multiple weeks, but we do have to go back into Sydney for some work commitments for coach. So we'll be back on Wednesday and do it all again, and most likely we'll run that over a 4-week program.
Not too far out now from the Zarafa fight night, obviously in Newcastle. How are we on schedule?
Perfect. I mean, you see today a really good level of work for all the boys. Great sparring, and that's why we come here to take us up to that next level. Couldn't be happy with what we had today, so we'll go around again on Saturday with the boys, and we'll work our way up. It's not a race; it's a progressive movement up to peaking for Michael Zarafa on July 7. But yeah, Igor's very happy, so yeah, everything's going to plan.
The way things are going with his progression, you must be very excited with the young man that he's becoming.
Oh, absolutely. He's only just 26 and he's at 20 fights, undefeated, and Michael's the last piece of the domestic puzzle, so obviously Matt and I are moving on now with international work, and while that's still a little bit difficult, it is starting to loosen up a little bit, so we're excited about what the future holds for sure.
Now, obviously we've seen him grow as a fighter. We've seen the management and the team grow together. We've seen him move to stadium shows. Now you've got Fox flying around with a 24/7 with the documentary that's going to be coming out. Yeah. This has got to be just the cherry on the cake.
It is. It's a wonderful endorsement of everything that Tim stands for, and the Australian public love him. He's without doubt the face of Australian boxing. The nice part is Tim hasn't changed much. He's still the same Tim from way back, and he still takes care of business. He won't be distracted, and that's the beautiful part of this young fella. He's a wonderful young guy. I'm very proud of him, of everything he's achieved, and our team as well. And I think as a group we've got it right. We've got the balance right, and it's just coming along lovely.
Tim Tszyu, welcome back to Queensland. Mate, you're well received here. How was today's activities?
Yeah, good. I love camp here. We proved that it was a massive success here from the Jeff Horn fight. So good to come back here. Fully focused on one thing. I got boys pushing me here. There's plenty of talent here, and boys helping me out for this big fight.
Talking about this big fight, how ahead on schedule are you?
Oh, look. You don't want to be too ahead. You want to make it perfect. At the moment, just putting in the hard yards, the hard rounds. Body's sore, but that's all part of the process. I'm on top of things.
Yeah, nice, very good. Now, mate, how good does it feel to be so well received when you come up here these days?
Yeah, great. Hopefully we'll have a fight here one time, another time, I guess. The fans here are great. I love Queensland, and I said before, if I could move here, I'd move here.
It's good winter, isn't it?
Oh man, this is summer.
Mate, look, one of the things we have noticed is because you're combining your work ethic with your talent, you're showing kids out there that their dreams can come true, but they do have to work at it, and that's been so well received by your younger generation of fans. That must be a nice feeling.
Oh, 100%. Talent's one thing, hard work is another. You always got to put in the work. day in, day out. You got to make sure you're first at the gym and the last at the gym. You got to make sure you put in those extra rounds. Everything you do, you got to do more than your opponent. That's how I approach boxing.
So the laser focus is just getting even more fierce as we taper down?
Oh mate, right now I'm here in camp in Queensland, which means that the only thing is boxing on my mind. And that's what gets you into this bubble and allows you to concentrate. I miss my family, I'm going to miss my family, but this is all part of the process.
And the dog doesn't get a mention, or?
My missus should get a mention more than the dog. She won't be happy.
All right, brother, we'll let you go.
Thank you.
We also caught up with George Rose, the promoter, talking all things No Limit. George Rose, quality rounds. He looks like he's ahead of schedule. This is a very talented young man.
Mate, he's unbelievable to watch. Every time I see him train, it blows my mind how fit he is, how disciplined he is, and how hard he rips in. He's the best fighter in Australia.
He's so well received here by the Queenslanders. Is that something that surprises you, or just something that makes you feel good?
I think it's just the type of person he is. Timmy's a very likeable person, and you've got to respect how good he is at his craft and how good he is as an athlete. So, mate, he's just a regular guy who's extremely talented at what he does, and I think that's why people latch onto him, because he's a good guy.
Mate, he's even been well received by the kids and showing them that the work ethic is the way to go, and that you need a quality organisation behind you to make dreams come true. That's a great message.
Well, I think that's how lucky we are in Australian boxing, is to have a great fighter like Timmy here for everyone to be able to see what he's doing, learn from what he's doing, and push yourself to them new limits, because that's what takes you to the next level is pushing to that extra limit, and Timmy does it every session. So it's good that everyone gets to see that, and hopefully take a little bit away from today's session, some of them young boxers.
When it comes to the night in Newcastle, it's going to shape up to be an amazing event.
Yeah, well, I think it's the fight of the year without a doubt. Two of Australia's best boxers stepping in against each other, and that's what we want to see. Timmy's the best fighter in Australia, and Michael Zarafa is arguably, one of the top 3, top 5 fighters in the country. And the fact that they're up against each other, man, that's massive. It's going to be a huge fight.
George Rose, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Joel, great little event to go to.
Yeah, no, it was. So they sparred twice. The first one was 10 rounds, so he's fit. He's 5 weeks out doing 10 rounds, 30-second breaks, and he's looking really good.
He's looking strong. He's looking very ready. Clay Waterman obviously fighting this week on a New Zealand fight show. He's fighting at a catch weight at 83 kilos, but great to see the weapon get away with a fight. Look, 7 years undefeated as an amateur. He did pretty much everything there was as an amateur. Bit of a slow transition into the pros, but we'd love to see him obviously try and get some more rounds out and some more fights out. Shotgun.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few things going on between Australia and New Zealand at the moment, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a few fights going on down there in New Zealand. Beck Hawker looks like she's signing a contract to go down, and also Luke Medini. So Eastside's going to be going across the pond as well. And Tasman Fighters are going to be having a New Zealand versus Australia fight night somewhere maybe in August or September. So it seems like now that we've got the bubble opened up between the two countries, there seem to be a few more fights happening, so that's good. Yeah,
there's a bit going on. Also that Andre Milovic is fighting Alex Hannon as well. So it's kind of good that the New Zealanders are coming over to Australia. Australia's going to New Zealand. So there'll be a lot more fights happening between us. So it's pretty good.
Absolutely, and that's happening in a week's time on the undercard for Justice Hooney, Paul Gallen. Alex Hannon versus Andre is going to be a great fight. Your thoughts on that, Camo?
I haven't seen too much of Alex Hannon. I've heard a bit about that Milovic because of he was sparring Zarafa for the second Horn fight. And they've all said that he's a good puncher and he's a big talent. I think he's from Russia, I'm pretty sure. So.
Yeah, a Russian Kiwi he's calling himself.
Well, if the fight's anything like the media lead-up, it's going to be a great fight.
It's going to be some fireworks. The boys were going off at that press conference.
Yeah, they're going pretty hard, weren't they? It was like the other main event.
But yeah, so we're only a week away from Hooney Gallen. That's going to be amazing down at the ICC in Darling Harbour in Sydney. We're going to be down there for that one. We can't wait for next week. And also, we look towards June 19th. Nissan Arena, the boxing shop, have got another great fight night, a night to remember, headlined by Rowan Murdoch and Les Sherrington at super middleweight. It's good to see both these boys back. Les obviously kind of in semi-retirement. Rowan's been hard for him to get a fight out for the last year or so, but it's going to be great to see him back under the lights.
Yeah, I Yeah, Rowan's awesome to watch. He's he's always training hard, but I think I can't see that going more than a couple of rounds.
Against Sherrington?
Yeah.
Camo?
Yeah, well, last time I seen Sherrington fight, he fought Zarafa, who was like obviously way under his weight, and he got stopped
years ago.
Yeah, and he got stopped pretty early. So I don't know. Like, credit to Les for jumping back into the ring, but yeah, Rowan's obviously got to, after this fight, keep stepping it up because he's at a higher level than Les right now, and needs to just kind of prove himself, with these bigger fights.
He mentioned in his social media that he's looking to take on all the super middleweights, starting with Les Sherrington, moving on to Jay Mitchell and fighters as such. But obviously the top dog in the super middleweight division in Australia at the moment is Matteo Tapia, and that would be an absolute banger of a fight.
Oh, absolutely, it would be. Even Jade Mitchell, like I've said for years that those two should fight, so that would be a great fight too.
Love to see the Matador back under the lights. He's great to watch.
Yeah, I think that, as you said, Matteo Tapia is the cream of the crop, but then if Jay Mitchell versus Rowan has to happen.
Yeah.
Like, they're the two that are like at that kind of level right now. The winner should fight Matteo Tapia.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Obviously, Matteo Tapia, right on the verge of not being domestic level either. If COVID wasn't happening, he was supposed to be fighting in Dubai, Europe. MTK were scheduled to take him overseas very quickly. Yeah. COVID happened, like it did to a lot of people. So he's been here. But also the undercard's great there. Vegas Larfield, Benny Hussein, Ben Cameron, Sam Beck, Dave Hadfield. So another great show there for a night to remember at Shotgun.
Yeah, there's some good opponents. If you know anything about the amateurs, then you know that those guys were all good and will be good to watch.
Speaking of amateurs, Ben Cameron is going to be debuting on a night to remember with the Boxing Shop as well. So again, another exciting fighter to look out for.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never seen Ben Cameron Hands fight, and I've heard so much about him lately.
Victorian.
Yeah, I know, but it just shows that we're going to promote the amateurs a bit more and get them more in the limelight, so everyone knows about him when they debut.
We caught up with Jai Opetaia on the weekend as well, the cruiserweight king, looking to make a big statement when he comes back, and this is what he had to say. Jai Opetaia, number 1 in Australia, number 12 in the world. Top dog cruiserweight. How's it feel to be back and moving around?
Feels good, man. Been waiting for a while to be back punching properly and get the ball rolling towards that next fight. So I was sitting on the sideline for quite a while, man, and it was killing me every day. So it feels good to be back, and I got a little fire in my belly, man. Feels good.
Mate, you can obviously see that. What stems from it? Is it the frustration of being held back, or is it just that natural willing to be the best?
Man, it's just like, I felt like I couldn't do the only thing that I've ever done, you know what I mean? Like, I've always been training, I've always been boxing, you know what I mean? Even when I'm not getting ready for fights, I'd always go do pads with my dad, and just not being able to hit a bag or something, having it taken away from me and not being able to do anything about it, bro, it just makes you appreciate it a lot more as well, you know what I mean? So I thought, like, you got to look at the collateral beauty sort of thing. Like, it happened and it's put more fire in my stomach and it's made me a bit more hungry. So, yeah.
How much more of a beast is this going to make you?
Oh, bro, I just, we're looking at fighting in August, man, and I just can't wait to put on a good display. And, I just want to get this world title out of the way, you know what I mean? I feel like I've been saying it for about 3 or 4 years, it's only a year away, and then all this stuff just keeps happening, you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit unlucky, like we had the COVID stuff, we had a guy pull out on me about 3 times over in Belgium, and then my own sort of problems with my injuries and stuff. So, it's been a long time coming, and I feel like it's just in my fingertips. Hey, it's almost there, that goal's almost there. So I'm ready to finally get it. Man, we're looking at fighting in 10 weeks, and I can pretty much guarantee no one's going to outwork me in this next 10 weeks. Like, I'm sat on the sideline for way too long, and man, the next 10 weeks is just going to be complete torture and mould me into a complete animal.
So we're not just putting the cruiserweight division on notice, we're putting Boxing Australia on notice.
Man, everyone knows who I am. I don't need to go make a statement. I've already proved myself. The world knows who I am. it's just me, you know. I'm hungry and I feel like I just miss it, you know what I mean? I miss walking out to that ring. That's where I belong. It's my domain, but I miss it, so I can't wait.
You've made a few changes. Obviously, you're up in the new Tasman gym. How do you find the facility?
Man, awesome. It's like my second home. You know, I've been coming here for training camps, and you know, I don't know. It's a big decision, but I might even move down here. It's that good. So you know, we're looking into it, and yeah, it's right at home, man. I feel good.
Mate, obviously Mark's helping out with the strength and conditioning. He's got the facility here. He's also looking after the nutrition. When these kind of boxes are ticked for you, it's just that much easier to focus on what you do best?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Wicked Blood Cafe, you know, just the pre-made meals, and I mean, it's just so easy when it fits like a glove, you know. We walk from the hotel with the apartment, we walk to the gym, we pick up our meals, we walk home, we recover, we walk back to the gym, and there's just no excuse. You know what I mean? It's the life of it's not the life of a boxer, it's the life of a world champion, and that's the sort of things you got to live to complete these goals.
You got a world champion attitude and you got a world champion work ethic. We're going to let you get back into it.
Thank you very much, and happy birthday.
So there we have it, Jai Opetaia, but it's great to see the king of the cruiserweights coming back in. Cruiserweight division could be having a bit more injection of life. Trent Broadhurst possibly coming back. We've got the Russell brothers there. Obviously, Ace Boxing Promotions has got 3 in Casey Caswell, Luke Medini and Floyd Mason. But Jason Waitley and possibly Jai Opetaia, that would be a great fight, Shocker.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a couple I'd like to see Jason go through first and then work his way to Jai, but I think definitely a great fight for the future.
I think the cruiserweight division is a pretty exciting division. Floyd Masson, he's like the most avoided fighter in the cruiserweight division. I think that Waitley and Floyd have to fight. Then there's Jai Opetaia at the top right now. So these guys have to fight. You can't keep avoiding each other. Like Floyd's got to, he'll be fighting whoever he needs to fight, but who's going to put it together?
Yeah, Floyd and Waitley would be a good fight.
That would be a great fight. Is it Floyd Masson or Floyd
It's
Mason?
Masson, yeah.
Floyd, I'm just going to call you Floyd Mason from now on. I'm not going to change your name.
Yeah,
It's too much hard work.
Keep it
Brett.
Floyd Mason.
We also spoke to Stevie Sparks on the weekend. He made it very clear that he wanted to fight against Dara Foley. And then we had Ben Sava come on at the same time and explain their side of the story.
100% true. They offered us, I'm not going to say the figure, but it's like 5% more to come to Toowoomba to fight him in his uncle's shed with his best friends as the judges on an untelevised event, or we did agree to fight him on a no-limit card at the Star Casino for almost the same money in front of the biggest audience in Australian boxing. Who's the one that's running away? He's the one that's insecure.
So there is possibly a fight there for Stevie. As we said, we spoke to him last week and had him on the show. He was talking about fighting at super lightweight against Dara Foley, trying to get a fight at welterweight and then possibly going into super welterweight. We weren't mentioning who could possibly be an opponent at super welterweight, but that came out on the Go Live camera. It could be you.
Yeah, no, they asked to fight me at super welterweight and we've agreed, but he's got a kid on the way, Steve Sparks, so we couldn't work it out with my eye surgery and his kid on the way, so it's pretty much, it could happen still later in the year, but as he said, like his fight he wants is Dara Foley. I think that makes more sense for him. He's a super lightweight.
Now, what's the word? We spoke to Shanika on the weekend, Shanika Johnson, on a Go Live. Has the contract been signed? Are you two fighting?
We haven't received a contract. It's been verbally agreed. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully by the end of this week we get a contract. But the main thing for us was a date, and they're still not sure about the date.
Hi, I'm Coach Frank Pianto from Eastside Boxing Gym, Brisbane. On today's episode of Iron Sharpens Iron, we're going to cover body punching. A few examples of why we use body punching in boxing is to deprive our opponent of oxygen, immobilise our opponent and take away our opponent's movement. Also, by attacking the body, we're forcing our opponent to drop his hands so that we can change levels and finish to the head. We've got an example of Joel attacking the body, changing heights and mixing the levels. pain reaction to body punching is different to punching to the head. We're basically breaking down our opponent's will. A few of the major areas of the body to target when body punching is the sternum and the liver. The liver shot is one of the most excruciating pains that you can ever put somebody in. It's connected to the vagus nerve, which is the central nervous system. It actually, you'll see someone get hit with a body shot, it actually forces them into what we call the supine position. It actually forces you into that position to be able to get your blood pressure back to normal. I believe if you walk into most gyms and you ask 20 boxes where the liver is, most of them wouldn't really know. I'm about to explain it to you exactly where it is. It's a major organ in the body. So if someone is in this position, the liver is just where the elbow is. So that's why it's very important we can start at the head to raise the hand up to be able to hit the liver. It's one way that we can set the liver shot up, okay, is by raising the hands. It's just here and it's just at the back. The way you hit it is if someone is on a 45-degree angle, so obviously you're not going to be able to reach around the back with the hook, you have to hit it up the front, like so. If someone is more square, then you'll be able to hit around the back of the arm. You ever seen anybody get hit and they can't recover? You can't recover from it. You cannot, that's it, it's over.
Camo, any words on any other fights for you? It seems like everyone's trying to fight you at the moment.
I don't know. Oh, jeez. I'd rather fight everyone who'd called me out rather than her anyway. Seriously.
Love to see some rounds there. Love to see some rounds there.
Super welterweight. Wade Ryan, Ben Marnie, Troy O'Malley, or O'Malley, how do you say his name? Who else is in the division?
I'm not sure, but it seems like there could be a rematch between Troy O'Malley and Wade Ryan.
Yeah, the winner of Troy O'Malley versus Wade Ryan, I'd happily fight that at the end of the year.
So what's the talks of Ben Marnie? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, they were in talks. They asked me to fight him, then he fought Chris George, but now Chris George wants to rematch. If they want the fight, I'll defend my title. They put up a title. I'll fight Ben Marnie any day of the week. All they got to do is call up Peter Maniatis and just give us a worthy offer, and we fight him. So, yeah, that's a fight I'm happy for. I'm not avoiding nobody in my division. There's not one person. I fought the best in division at Tszyu. There's no one else for me to fight. So if anyone gives me a good offer, I'll fight him. Simple as that.
George Kambosos, Teofimo Lopez. We are getting closer, guys. This is history making, legacy making. If Kambosos can get the fight across the line and win, your thoughts, Shotgun?
Look, I'd like to see George do good. He's focused, he's hungry, he wants it. But I feel like Teofimo Lopez is looking past him a little bit too much. He's not taking it seriously, and that can be a big mistake. Look what Manny Pacquiao did with Jeff Horn. That
was exactly the reference that I used on the weekend when people were asking me my thoughts on the Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos fight. George, ready. He went to training straight after he finished the fight against Lee Selby in the UK. He literally trained that night after he fought Lee Selby and has been in camp ever since. Teofimo's messaging Devin Haney. He's having a go at Ryan Garcia. He's talking about Tank. He's talking about Josh Taylor. So he's mentioning just about everybody else but George Kambosos.
Have you realised on his interviews, and the whole time it was Teofimo Lopez and his dad that just does my head in, and they did not mention George's name once. They kept saying, oh yeah, after I get through my mandatory.
Florida obviously opened right up with their COVID laws, so there's going to be a massive crowd there at the Miami Stadium. It looks like it's going to be an enormous event. So obviously we've got the Justice Hooney, Paul Gallen fight coming up next week, Alex Hannon, Andre Milovic, but we've also got Emmanuel Carlos and Isaac Hardman. Now there was questions whether this fight was going to go ahead or not. So DNL Events, looking into the crystal ball, making sure that this fight can happen, they flew Emmanuel Carlos and his team out of Victoria before the quarantine date was set and got them to Sydney to finish their last part of their camp. So great work there by DNL Events. We had both Emmanuel Carlos and Isaac Hardman on the Go Live together, talking to each other and talking this fight up. This fight is definitely going to happen, and it's one the fans have been wanting to see for a while. So there we have it, guys. Sunshine Coast event for Jamie Myers Productions. Catching up with Tszyu and Jai Opetaia. Looking towards a night to remember at the boxing shop at Nissan Arena with Les Sherrington fighting Rowan Murdoch at super middleweight. And obviously we have Glen Hooney next week, Emmanuel Carlos, Isaac Hardman. And we've also got George Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez coming up. A huge amount of boxing coming up at the moment, team.
Yeah, June's huge.
That's exciting. A lot of fights coming up, and hopefully we all do well.
And hopefully we get your contract across the line, Shotgun, and you get that fight with Shanika.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be August.
I'm Rob Scheif, and you're watching Before the Fight.